Welcome back. Our second segment on In Your Interest. A refinery in the United Arab Emirates goes up in flames, missiles in the sky, drones on oil tankers, and now Pete Hegseth is talking about Project Freedom, which is not the war. It's a different military move that's taking place in the Strait of Hormuz. So needless to say, a fragile peace in the Middle East that has been shattered. The UAE has claimed that Iran launched a direct strike involving 12 ballistic missiles and 4 drones targeting the critical energy hub of Fujairah. This marks the most significant escalation since the April ceasefire and has sent shockwaves through the global energy markets. While UAE air defenses intercepted the majority of the incoming fire, the debris from the attack has reportedly struck a facility in Fujairah. Some of those visuals that have also recently come out, we're going to try and patch them up and put them out on our screens. But this is not just a local security breach. Fujairah is the terminal point for the Habshan pipeline, a vital artery that allows oil to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Any threat to this facility is a direct threat to the global economy. And the human cost is also coming to light. Several injuries have been reported, including 3 Indian nationals working at that site. This is why it's important for us as well. Iran has denied planning any strike on the Fujairah facility, mind you, planning, and instead blamed the US military adventurism. This has prompted a sharp response from New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has strongly condemned the strike, calling the targeting of civilians and infrastructure unacceptable. The Prime Minister warned that such disruptions could jeopardize regional peace and global energy security, emphasizing the absolute necessity of safe navigation in these waters. But the incident has raised fresh fears about the safety of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital route for global energy supplies, the choke point that we've been talking about for the last 70 days. And the United States has issued a security advisory asking ships to use Oman waters for safer passage. Hundreds of vessels are now queuing up, creating a shipping backlog. U.S. War Secretary Pete Hegseth has warned Iran of overwhelming firepower if shipping lanes are disrupted. Iran, on its part, has threatened to target U.S. forces if they enter the strait.
As a direct gift from the United States to the world, we have established a powerful red, white, and blue dome over the strait. American destroyers are on station, supported by hundreds of fighter jets, helicopters, drones, and surveillance aircraft, providing 24/7 overwatch for peaceful commercial vessels, except Iran's, of course, which is why our ironclad blockade remains in full effect as well. In fact, 6 ships tried to run the blockade out of Iranian ports as Project Freedom commenced, and they were all turned around. This is more than strategy, it's also humanitarian. By breaking Iran's illegal stranglehold, we're protecting the lives and livelihoods of sailors from dozens of countries, securing global energy routes, and preventing shortages that hit the world's poorest people the hardest. Once again, America is using its strength to lift up others. Iran is trying to subjugate the world.
Even as the United Arab Emirates blames Iran for the Fujairah strike and Tehran denies any role, the bigger question is who gains if this fragile ceasefire breaks? Iran could tighten its grip on Hormuz and raise pressure, but risks direct retaliation. The US reinforces its military and shipping dominance, yet faces deeper escalation. Israel may see strategic openings against Iran's network, but at the cost of a wider war. So the big questions that we're trying to understand and decode. Is this Iranian strike a serious breach of the ceasefire or a limited message that can still be contained? Can the Strait of Hormuz remain safe for global shipping if tensions between Iran and the US continue to rise? And who stands to lose the most if the ceasefire fully breaks down? Iran, the US, Israel, or oil importing countries like ours here back at home? Major General Dr. Rajan Kochar, defense and geopolitical expert, with us on the broadcast. Good evening, General. Your views always respected here on News9. Dr. Wael Awad, strategic expert, West Asia. Many thanks for taking out the time, Dr. Awad. Dr. Awad, who do you think broke the ceasefire? UAE says the missile and the projections came from Iran. Iran says, well, no, nothing of that sort was planned. The United States, with its Project Freedom, at the moment in the Strait of Hormuz, red, white, and blue domes. I don't know whether that's the French flag, whether that's some other country, whether they're trying to replicate their own flag. But who broke the ceasefire, Dr. Awad?
Thank you, Kabir. I think what we need is the satellite of the Chinese satellite or the Russian satellite to make sure who has fired the rocket into the Fujairah, because there are lots of conspiracy theories are now floating in the air. At the moment, it is Iran the first culprit, and could be other person who wanted to do a false flag that to drag other countries into the region, especially when UAE is pulling out of OPEC, and now they wanted to increase their production of the oil and selling it. So therefore, there could be another reason for this. And remember also that the United States wanted to drag countries into the Strait of Hormuz to take part in escorting the commercial ship. And one of them is South Korea. And South Korea built the Fujairah's reservoir for UAE. So we have to see it from all the angle. However, I don't think there is a break of the breach of the war currently. It's just a matter that both the countries, Iran and the United States, are dragging each other into an open war.
No, but what's your opinion, Dr. Awad? Do you think Iran could have fired this missile, this projection?
Well, as I said, Iran doesn't have any intention of firing at the moment, but the UAE is accusing Iran of this, and that's a clear indication that the confrontation.
Does that hurt Iran's credibility? Does that hurt Iran's, global standing at this point in time? Something that it has been able to accumulate over the last 40, 50 days?
Look, the world sympathy definitely is still edging toward Iran, but with the United States putting a UN Security Council draft resolution that they wanted to put Iran under Article 7 is a clear indication that there are many players in the region, the stakeholders who wanted to drag the country into an open war with Iran, where if that resolution passed through the Security Council, that means America will have the legitimate right to go back to the war, despite the fact that President Trump have lost the Congress approval for any war with Iran.
All right. Dr. Awad, do stay on with us. General Kochhar, in the Gulf, it seems like denial is the new doctrine. Dr. Awad saying this is not going to, this can still be contained. This is not a complete collapse of the ceasefire. But hey, I mean, if the rules are anything to go by, this means that the ceasefire has been broken. If Iran did not directly attack, who else has the capability and the positionings right now to carry out such a coordinated strike? And just minutes before we logged on to the show, we were told that UAE was still engaging with some drones, General.
It's very interesting perspective, and yes, Dr. Wad also you brought out this, you see, your aspect. So, as of now, I think the fingers are pointing at Iran only, and why I suspect it is the work of Iran is, you see, what is happening in Iran. I was just reading an article in the morning from the Iran News International, and it was bringing out a perspective that the leadership of Iran is fractured today. The IRGC and the political leadership are not looking at each other on the same page. And Wahidi and Pezeshkian are not speaking the same language. And Pezeshkian has, as a matter of fact, he has condemned this attack, I believe, as far as that news article goes. So if we take into account that what is happening in Iran, the IRGC seems to be gone rogue. It is not following the diktats of the political leadership. And if you remember, Kabir, when this war started initially, when UAE was targeted and the other Gulf countries were targeted, it was Pezeshkian who had rendered an apology. He had apologized and he had said that I'm very sorry that this had to happen. But then because of the air bases of Americans, they had to resort to this kind of a thing. And it was only a collateral damage. All the debris and all, falling like that. So that was the explanation which Pezeshkian gave at that point of time. So prima facie, if I take that, because who are the other suspects?
Yeah.
The prime suspect is Iran. You cannot rule out Israel, because Israel also would like this ceasefire to be broken. So that aspect also would need a bit of a discussion, Because at the same
I mean,
time,
the larger
Israel,
war theater would continue to go on if Israel carries out this attack and it works out for them. I'm running out of time here, General. I would, of course, urge both the panelists to exercise some brevity. I'm going to come back to you, General. Let me quickly bring in Dr. Awad again. Dr. Awad, do you concur with what General here is talking about? Iran's ambiguity and, a great point that he pointed out, this internal disalignment, the internal lack of synchronization between the IRGC and, of course, the government heads, Pezeshkian, Aragchi. Of course, after the first round of talks in Islamabad, it did not go down well with Zolgadar as well. And Zolgadar, I know people don't really look up to him particularly, and him being the head of the IRGC. Do you think this is because of the internal bickerings in Iran that something like this has happened, and maybe this is going to come back to bite Iran in the back later?
With respect to the views of the Major General, whom I respect his point of view, I don't think that is actually the case. In the case of Iran currently, the question is the Strait of Hormuz and nothing to do with the neighboring country. It's a fight direct fight between the United States and Iran on the issues of the Strait of Hormuz. You blocked it, we blocked it. You're doing a piracy, we're doing also international law breach. So that is the case. So Iran.
But I'll tell you what, Dr. Awad, now that you're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, people are talking about maritime piracy. Peter Hegseth says nobody owns the Strait of Hormuz, and there are going to be a lot many takers for that statement across the world that yes, Iran does not own the Strait of Hormuz, not when so much of oil, global oil, is dependent on that narrow maritime waterway.
Look, the United States neither a signatory to the maritime law nor it is ratified. Iran signatory but not ratified it. So nobody can speak on behalf of the other one. What the United States wanted to see that this cannot be a precedent to happen in other places in the world. The United States is totally controlling all the war corridors of the global trade, by the way. It's going to Cuba after this. They are going to the South China Sea. They are going to Taiwan Strait. So that is the situation. The situation is, the picture is bigger than what we meeting the eyes. The question here is the America taking the war to the front door of China.
Dr. Awad, the Strait of Hormuz, General, let's circle back to that again. Project Freedom, the red, white, blue dome, and is the Strait of Hormuz now effectively a militarized zone again? Pete Hegseth can say whatever he wants to, but carrying out these escorting missions with the kind of mines that are already there seems to be a militarized zone again. Is this maritime piracy or geopolitical signaling? Because this very well could be the final, straw that broke the camel's back.
It's very good perspective, Kabir, because now it has become the center of gravity of this entire war, and I think it has been militarized because it has a domination of Iran because of proximity of its being there on the coastal side, and with a kind of asymmetric kind of strength. Iran has the drones are there, the mines are there, and it has got those gunboats. Everything is available there to disrupt any kind of activity in this year, because after all, we need to understand that these are the sea lines of communication. And as per international laws, the sea line of communication is not the prerogative of a particular country. It is for all the countries to use them. But now, because of this war, and because Iran wants to control the narrative here as a deterrence, I think Iran has taken this stand for militarizing this entire aspect. And I don't think the United States can do a fig about it.
Okay, all right. I think we're going to leave it at that. Donald Trump, meanwhile, says that he's going to let the media know. When the media asked him whether this means the ceasefire is broken, ambiguity everywhere. Ambiguous answers coming from Iran, ambiguity coming from the United States, and a militarized Strait of Hormuz. Certainly not good news for, the global oil stocks. On that note, I think we're going to leave it there. Still early doors. Let's hope that good sense prevails. And just like Dr. Awad said, this situation can still be contained. Dr. Awad, many thanks for taking out the time. General, always a pleasure to be speaking to you. In West Asia, wars are rarely declared. They unfold in shadows, unfold in real time, which is quite slow. But in the meantime, our boots are on the ground as well. TV9 Network Sumaira Khan has been reporting to us from Tehran. Here are those exclusive ground reports. We'll leave you with that. Many thanks for watching.
हम यहाँ इनकलाब जो स्ट्रीट है उस पर मौजूद हैं। ये एक मेन स्ट्रीट है तेहरान की, और यहाँ से आगे जाकर आपको जो स्क्वायर है वो मौजूद है। बहुत अहम इमारतें यहाँ पर हैं, लेकिन ख़ास बात यह है कि ये वो इलाका है, लेकिन इसके अलावा भी और बहुत से और इलाके हैं जो हम आपको आगे दिखाएंगे, लेकिन ये वो इलाका है जहाँ पर बहुत से हमले किए गए थे, यहाँ पर बहुत से मिसाइल हमले किए गए थे। आस